Coach, you had mentioned building out the assistant staff. Have you gotten the ball rolling on that yet, or are you still kind of working your way around that?
Yeah, we're definitely rolling in it, but it's going to be a process. It's going to be a minute. Again, we want to get it right. There wasn't many changes in the NBA this year, so yeah, we want to do it right. We want to get the right people around our guys.
How much input does the front office kind of have on that? Because I know obviously as a first-time head coach, they might want to bring in some seasoned voices. How is that process kind of unfolding?
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, I think we're collaborating in every step of the way, and they're helping me, and I'm trying to help them, but they're trying to help get me settled in Phoenix. So yeah, we're on the same page, talking through our options.
How hard is it to get, you talk about your offensive, your defensive philosophies. How hard is it to implement that when you don't know who you're going to have yet? I mean, do you kind of stick to the same principles, or does it really kind of move depending on who your personnel are?
Yeah, great question. I think any good coach will build their system according to the personnel on both sides. There's a preferred style of play, and you can still get it based on different personnel, but until the personnel is set, that's when you can really build it out. But I think any personnel can play the style of play that I described.
Jordan, Greg Moore, Arizona Republic. Good to meet you, and
Yes, sir.
congratulations.
Thank you.
How much input do you expect to have on personnel?
Yeah, I think at this point, I think we're all collaborating on every piece of this. They obviously have a head start in a lot of this. I'm kind of being pushed in right now, so we're all being on the same page.
Well, you've seen Book pretty much his entire career. He's gone through a lot of different roles, so to speak, on ball, off ball, 1, 2, 3, positionally, whatever. When you've evaluated just since thinking about this job, what do you feel like is the way to optimize what he is kind of right in the thick of his prime right now?
Yeah, I think Book has proven that he can succeed, not only in this jersey, but the USA jersey in multiple roles. We know who he is, we know what he's done and what he can do. So again, we're going to try to build this thing to help Devin Booker in every way. And we know he'll be on board no matter what we ask, and he'll be a part of this definitely moving forward.
With what you mentioned about pace, Book has alluded to wanting to play faster the last couple of years. How do you see that unlocking the next part of his game? Because he's never truly played on a team that really got up and down all game.
Yeah, I think you see pace in different ways, right? Like pace is transition, pace is fast break if you can create a turnover. So obviously with a more aggressive defense, you hope to create some turnovers that you can play that way. But I think coaches, sometimes we overcomplicate things. So by simplifying, playing in more concepts and our principles of play, we want to get to action fast. We want to get a high quality shot very fast early in the shot clock. And we know Devin Booker can score not only early in the clock, but also late. But can we have more opportunities if we get to action fast? It may not be the first action, maybe a second action, but can we get more actions if we act earlier in the clock?
You alluded to it in Cleveland. What was it like for you guys as a coaching staff in November, December to see that half-court offense with all the movement and cutting you guys were doing come to fruition?
Yeah. We were 0-4 in preseason. So I think that we thought it was all going to work out the whole time. I'm not sure. But I do think there's the spirit, the collaborative group spirit started to build, and they had some shared experiences from the year before. I just think it just collectively pushed and created a momentum, a surge that we were able to maintain, throughout the year.
Coach, this may take a little time for you to give an answer, but what do you feel like you gained from each of the head coaches that's helped you get there?
Man, obviously Hall of Famer to start, Coach Izzo. His ability to relate to players and spend time with players, build relationships, that is real. I'm sure it's real even today. The amount of time he spends with players, even at his stature and his success. Bud, grateful for Bud getting, allowing me to come to Atlanta on that staff. Bud was, very, very detailed as a thinker and then able to simplify in front of the group. Kenny was a player development coach that turned into a tactician. There in Brooklyn, I got to see him move as an assistant to head coach, build Brooklyn without any draft picks or very low draft picks through player development. Jacques Vaughn was part of that, how he was able to stabilize us in a time that could have been rocky. And then Steve's just incredible humility for being a Hall of Fame player, and his just density of knowledge to the game and to other sports, and just him as a human being. Darv's toughness, Darv is from where he's from Saginaw, Michigan. He's a tough dude that has an incredible heart. And then Kenny the second time, and I again, this is a long answer, I apologize, but just how he's grown from Brooklyn. And again, I think that last 12 months of my life, how incredibly blessed I was to go to Cleveland, be a part of that, see him, see the group, put me in this spot, really helped me put me in this spot right here today.
You
Just a
mentioned
couple
Kenny.
more here. You mentioned first meet Matt and Brian for the first time, because I know with your background, you guys were at Michigan State at different times.
Yeah, so first time I met Matt was the last stage of the interview, where I really met him, sat down. And the first time I met BG face to face was this January in Cleveland. When they came to Cleveland, I introduced myself. I had known of him, but again, we didn't cross paths much. I talked to him a couple times last summer, but actually meeting him was this January. Then going through this process with BG, I got to know BG even more.
You mentioned going under Kenny the second time. How important is that constant evolution of the game part of kind of what you do as a coach?
Yeah, again, he's incredibly curious, not only on the court, but in the medical side. And he's grown in the years we had apart. I think we had 4 years apart, 5 years apart maybe. Yeah, he's changed, and he was around other programs, other really good players, to change how he operates on a day-to-day basis. Not only how the game is played, he was coaching last summer in France while had the job in Cleveland. That just shows how much a student of the game he is. And again, incredibly how lucky I was to be a part of that in Cleveland.
Is that something that you kind
Last
of picked
one
up
here.
from him? Because we've heard you described as someone who's constantly looking for those new trends and the way that the game is continuing.
Yeah, he just didn't turn curious in the last 12 months. Even as an assistant, he was up early, moving, incredible worker. To then, evolution of him just from assistant to head coach, I was able to see, and then the different players that we got in Brooklyn throughout that time. To now, yeah, he's an incredible impact on why I'm standing here. His trust in me 12 months ago, 4 months ago, 3 months ago, to even, talking with him this morning. So definitely one of my mentors that I'm proud to have worked with.